Look at those aphids. Absolutely all over the hibiscus flower. But we're not talking about aphids today because we're going out into the garden. It's almost November and we need to get on some spring veggies. So you might think I'm utterly mad talking about spring when actually we've only just hit November. But fall planning is a gardener's friend. So while it gets cold, we need to plant some seeds. Now we also need to do a couple of other things. So for example, this Dixonia needs to be brought inside like as it's in a pot so I can easily just pick it up. The same with this ensete. These dahlias are still doing really well, but onset of the first frost they will need to be dug up and looked after. There's a dead head, and then if we just carry on down the garden, there's also a eucomis, which is a pineapple lily down here, and it's never done well down here, and in fact there were two, but I think this is the only one left. But you can see it has been touched by a little bit of frost. So that needs to come out, and I'm going to put that in a pot, and hopefully it will do a bit better next year. But we're going into the greenhouse. Now, as is very apparent, the greenhouse needs a damn good clean. And also, if you're watching on last week's video, you will have seen that we had a bit of a disaster with a pane of glass. So yes, Bo came running down the garden after a cat that was sat there, and she basically pushed the cat through the glass. Luckily it was safety glass, and so it just all turned into all of these tiny bits. I've had a bit of a clean up and I've had a bit of a barricade, and so obviously my greenhouse is no longer completely frost free, but that doesn't matter for what we're going to be doing today, and that is sowing some broad beans and sowing some peas. So I'm going to be sowing a couple of things today. As you just saw, some beans, some broad beans and some peas, which will be ready in early spring. So I've got my winter veggies done, and now I'm starting to think about spring. And of course the greenhouse is an utter tip. It's absolutely disgusting. I mean, just look at that glass. But we don't need to worry about that because these seeds are going to germinate and then grow so slowly that actually, to start with, the lack of light in here won't be a huge issue. And also I will get around to cleaning it at some point, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do about that glass down there yet. I think for now I'll probably just cover it over with some plastic, but as I said before, I may turn this into a pheasant enclosure. But it's a really good idea to get these peas on, so let's do them quickly. So I've got a multi-purpose compost, and I'm sowing quite a lot of seeds per tray. You'd normally do only 4 or 5, but I'm actually going to do 2 per hole because both my pea seeds and my bean seeds are quite old. And so I haven't gone and got any more packets. I've just thought, you know what, I'm just going to see how they go. So I'm going to be putting 2 per hole in the hopes that we get semi-decent germination. But it remains to be seen how many come up. So I'm going to do 6 lots of peas and then 6 lots of beans. Now you can see from these they're not exactly very good quality. That one's been half nibbled and I haven't got very many. So I'll put these probably all in a couple of pots, and I have got another packet, so I'll put these in as well. I will discard that one. So there are some beans, and here are some peas, and they will germinate over the next few weeks, hopefully, and give me some nice early crops for next year, which is what we want, because come January, February, March, we're going to be sowing, but we're not going to have much to eat unless you've got a really nice stocked winter garden. So these are going to be perfect for those early spring meals. Now I've raised them off the floor because I have a really bad rodent problem here, and mice will come in and take your peas and your beans in particular, and you will think nothing has germinated, but it wasn't because of dud seeds, it was because of mice, and they will be sitting in their nests with a nice big fat warm belly, and I would prefer the seeds to be growing so they can go into my belly and not a mouse's belly. Also, if you're putting stuff in the greenhouse over winter, don't forget to water, because although it's winter and although it's probably going to be more rainy than normal, they're still in your greenhouse, so they still do need to be kept moist. You won't obviously have to water as frequently, but you do need to keep those seedlings and those little plants moist. Even if you've got hardy annuals, you've got winter veg, all that sort of thing, anything in your greenhouse, please still water. Now if you've liked the video, please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss any future updates. If you're on Facebook, come and join us on Brimwood Farm's community group, where we chat all week about veggies, chickens, homesteading, all sorts. But for now, I'm going to go inside. I'm going to think about cleaning this greenhouse, although it may take a few weeks before I get to do that, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.